Hello everybody, this is Brandon Campbell's presentation for my instructional project. This project I decided to do an instructional project based on something that interests me, my career. I'm going to be doing it on an accordion forward fire hose lay. At the end of this video, I hope that you all have a basic knowledge on how to perform an accordion forward hose lay, and I hope that this presentation, at the end of it, you'll be able to feel comfortable enough to where if you ever got the opportunity to practice with fire hose, that you would have a pretty good basic understanding of how this hose should be laid out and how to appropriately take these steps and perform them well. So, a little bit about the accordion forward hose deployment. The accordion forward technique is utilized when you have to go a long distance to get to the fire. This technique is specific to a certain hose load that you must use inside the truck. For all intents and purposes, for your sake, I'm not going to go over how to load it into the truck, but I will explain to you how to correctly deploy this hose, assuming it is loaded correctly already into the fire engine. So what you need to know is that the hose is already appropriately put inside the truck, and I'm going to teach you how to pull it as if it was already loaded. The accordion forward technique allows you to deploy hose to cover long distances while reducing the amount of kinks or knots in your fire hose. To use this method, you must perform several steps to ensure your success. The objective is to get water to a fire quickly and efficiently. This method will create a hose line that hopefully has no knots, twists, or kinks, which would prevent good water flow from your nozzle. And the steps provided for you will allow you to successfully lay out a fire hose. So first, you must understand that there are many different hose lays that you can do. These three pictures on the screen here show you three different methods, and there's more than three, but these are three more often used methods. The one in the upper left hand corner is what they call a V-split hose lay. The one in the upper right hand corner is called a coils hose lay. And the one in the bottom middle is the one that I'm going to be going over today, which is your accordion forward hose lay. So the objectives of this presentation is for you to understand why you want to use an accordion forward hose lay versus the others. You should be able to understand the steps that need to be taken in order to perform this hose lay, and at the end of it, hopefully you will be able to perform these steps as I have laid them out for you. Attached to my written document, I have also attached a glossary for certain terms that are used in the fire service that you might not understand. So if there's any terms you don't know, feel free to reference my glossary in my written portion of this document. So I'm going to cover steps 1, 2, and 3 first. Step number 1, you're going to step onto the fire apparatus. You're going to make sure that you have a good footing so you don't slip. Step 2, you're going to grab the nozzle. You're going to grab it underneath the nozzle, and you're going to lift up and out. And while you lift up and out, you're going to turn around so your back is towards the fire engine. And once your back is towards the fire engine, you're going to step off of the fire truck, as you can see in the third picture on the right. When you step off of the fire truck, the rest of the hose is going to fall behind you, and this is the first thing you're going to do, and you want to make sure that the hose on your shoulder is going to be as clean and as stacked neatly as possible, and that will help you perform the rest of this hose lay successfully. Step number 4 is, once you have the hose on your shoulder, you're going to turn around and grab the bite that's hanging off to the side of the truck. You're going to grab that bite, and you're going to pull back pretty fast and hard. And you can see here in the first and second picture that you're going to pull it and throw it on the ground. And in order to fix the big pile you just made, you're going to pick up the coupling, as you see in the second picture in the middle, and then you're going to start walking forward until you can't walk anymore. That line is going to pull out of your hand almost. And once you feel that line start to pull out of your hand, you're going to want to drop it. And then in that third picture on the right, you can see that, at this point, when you drop the hose line, it should be what they call flaked out, term in my glossary. And that just essentially means that you have a straight hose line that doesn't have any kinks, knots, or twists in it. Steps 6, 7, and 8. So here, you're gonna have your first 100 feet on the ground already, and that was caused by, when you grabbed the coupling and walked out. And once you drop the coupling on the ground, your first 100 feet are going to be on the ground now. Your second 100 feet is still loaded on your shoulder. So what you're going to do here is you're going to grab the two middle bites. A bite is essentially one loop in a fire hose. And you're going to take the two middle bites, which is in the middle section of the hose on your shoulder, and you're going to take the nozzle, and you're going to hold on to them. The rest of the hose you're going to dump off your shoulder and throw it onto the ground, as you see in the first picture. If you move to the second picture here, you see that the firefighter has the nozzle over his shoulder and the two middle bites in his hand, and he's going to start walking out until he gets to the point at which he's ready, to which he's comfortable and ready to fight a fire. And you can see here that usually this hose lay is going to be a longer hose lay, so you're going to walk out quite a ways. And in that third picture on the right, you can see that the hose is very cleanly laid out with no kinks, knots, or twists, preventing water flow to the nozzle. So now you have your first 100 feet laid out on the ground closer to the fire engine. You have your second 100 feet that you just laid out by walking farther away and laying it nicely on the ground. So now at this point, you're ready to call for water. So you see here in the first picture, you're going to turn around and you're going to yell really loudly, at the top of your lungs almost. You want to yell for water. And the reason why here is because your engine operator, the person who is operating your fire pump and going to give you water, he's standing next to a working fire engine, so the engine's running and he's working the pump, and he's got probably other people telling him to do things and orders being given to him, and you can't hear anything that's going on back there, and he can't hear anything going on up where you're at. So at this point, you're going to have to yell really loudly and yell for water. When you yell for water, you're going to put your hand up in the air and start making a circular motion. This motion is a universal sign for water. Once you make a visual eye contact with your engine operator and he returns the hand signal to you, you know that you're going to be getting water very soon. Once water gets to your nozzle, you're going to open up the bail, which is the lever on the top of the nozzle that stops and starts the flow of water. You're going to twist the nozzle head in order to make a fog and straight pattern to check your pattern. At this point, you have all 200 feet laid out. You have a charged hose line, which is cleanly laid out with no kinks, knots, or twists in it. And you have water to your nozzle, and you've checked your nozzle for a good flow. Now you're ready to start flowing water. So steps 12 and 13, you're going to shut your bail. You're going to stand up, get in a comfortable stance for you to fight fire. You're going to open your nozzle, or open the bail on your nozzle. Again, the bail being something that starts and stops the flow of water. So you're going to open the bail, which is going to create a flow of water out of the nozzle, as you can see in the second picture. And now you're ready to you're ready to go to work, essentially. You're ready to fight fire. You have water coming out of your nozzle, you have a cleanly laid out line, and you've taken all the appropriate steps to get there. So this is, in conclusion, you have now appropriately laid out your accordion forward hose lay. Again, this is one of many different hose lays that you can perform. You have water coming out of your nozzle, you have a clean line, and that's all the steps to appropriately and safely perform this hose lay. And now you're ready to hopefully get out on the fire training grounds and practice this in real life. And I hope to see you out here one day. Thank you.